That's the light blue, and then I'm going to use purple next. Alright, so a function can be thought of as a machine. And when you have a machine, when you have something that you put on a conveyor belt, you plug stuff in, you get something else out. That's the whole point of it. So a function can be thought of as a machine that assigns one x value to each y value, which is the definition of a function. What we're going to do first is we're going to zoom in so that Connor stops making that face for the love of all things good and holy. Is that better?
Hey, it's not this time.
I'm not straight up now.
How about you put it right there?
But can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I don't have it.
Okay. So we're going to identify parts of the function, then we're going to talk about how we plug into a function. So the F is how you name the function. It is the name of the function. It can be called G, it can be called H, it could be called I, it could be called baby Jesus, but this is how you name the function, and it's called f at x or f of x. Alright, so x tells what number to plug into the function. So if I put a 3 where x is, you would plug in a 3 for every x that you see on the page. If I told you that x was 4, what would you plug in for x? If I said x was 5, what would you plug in for x? If it was Oreos, what would you plug in for x? Oreos. Fantastic. That's all you have to do.
They made something called cookies and cream. I find that really.
All right. So f at x means that f is a function of x. And you say it as f at x or f of x. And it is the same thing as y. So normally we would write y equals 3x plus 4, but because we're fancy, we write f at x equals 3x plus 4. Yes? No. Not ever. I know. But I don't want you to do that. I appreciate it, though. And this part right here is called the function. So f is the name of the function. This is what you plug in over here. F at x means that f is a function of x or a function at x. And this guy over here is the function or the machine, and that's what we plug it into. Are you guys ready to plug in?
Get out of my way. Maybe children outlet.
I was thinking the same thing. Alright, so we're going to plug in 2. So that means that we're going to say f at 2, and we're plugging it into the function above that we wrote down. We're going to say f at 2 equals 3 times 2 plus 4. The reason we plugged in 2 is because it told us to, and everywhere we see a 2, we replace x with 2. Alright, what's 3 times 2?
6.
What's 6 plus 4?
10.
Boom, you're done. So f at 2 equals 10. And that's all you have to do.
Does it mean F is not?
No.
Okay, never mind.
When x is 2, y is 10. Is what that means. So if you were making a table, and you had your x over here, you would write f at x over here, and you plug 2 in, you would get 10 out.
Oh, wait, so. So you just keep it adding.
I thought you were talking about 4 too.
Or it's 2.
Guys, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. So when x is 2, you plug in 2, and you get 10.
I'm just gonna keep going.
We're about to do that. We're going to plug in -1 in a second. Yes.
So that number by the F on this side, that is on X.
Yes. So now we're going to plug in -1. So I'm just showing you how they relate to each other. I'm showing you that we're creating an ordered pair because our learning target is by the end to be able to create a table. Okay. All right, now I'm going to plug in -1. Where are you going? So you're going to say f at -1 equals 3 times -1 plus 4.
Equals.
What's 3 times -1? And what's -3 plus 4?
1.
Positive 1. So f at -1 equals 1. What would I write over here on my table this time?
X is y, -1. And
Equals
then
1.
F is 1.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it always going to be F?
It could be G. It could be H. It could be I. It could be J. It could be A. It could be B. It's just the name of the function. It can be any letter in the alphabet. Alright, let's look at the inside. Alright, so we have 2 different functions this time. We have f at x and we have g at x. So, do you think we're going to plug this first 3 into f or into g?
Into F.
Into f, because it says f at 3. And then what are we going to do for this one? Plug it into g. So, we're going to do our f function. I'm going to do this one in blue so we can keep up with it. And I'm going to do this one in the peachy color. And all we're going to do is we're going to plug it in. So since x is replaced with 3 this time, I'm going to write 3 squared plus 3. Does everybody see what it did?
No.
What don't you see?
Wait. How do you know if the X was 3?
Because it's replaced right here. So you see how...
Sorry.
That's okay.
And then, square. Okay, I did.
Okay. 3 squared is...
6.
9 plus 3 is...
Oh,
Dun 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 dun.
that's all? If she says that, that's all.
I'm just gonna start saying that's wrong. That's not 5. I didn't say, as where you go. Yeah, when you go up.
I don't even know what that was. I just don't know anymore. Now let's plug 3 into G. So instead of plugging it in over here, we're going to plug it into this one. Because it says G, it tells you where to... You have a question? Okay, can you tell me how to write it?
I got you.
Okay, do you see how 3 is in the place of X? So what are we going to replace X with?
3.
And we're going to write 3 plus 1. And what's 3 plus 1?
4.
Dun 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 dun.
Wait. I got it. Ain't no way.
Is anybody still confused?
No.
Wait.
Can you do the next 2 without me?
Yes. Yeah.
Why did you hear?
Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, never mind, I got it.
Okay. Do the next two without me. If you're plugging -2 into your calculator to square it, put it in parentheses.
Oh, we put the square on the outside.
Done.
Whoa.
No, it's not -1.
It's 7.
Logan, it's not -1.
This?
Yeah.
Ah.
You're also right beside me, so you shouldn't get on your phone. Just in case you didn't know that. I can see you. You're right beside me. Because you put it in parentheses. You have -2 squared plus
Oh, yeah,
3,
you're right.
right? So -2 squared is 4. 4 plus 3 is... The joke is 7 for F at -2.
Forgot about me.
Alright, for G, you do 0 plus 1 and you get?
1.
Take a point.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're part of this group still. Alright, now, for the next two, what do you think we're going to do on this one?
You're gonna do them together after you get the answer.
Yes, take a point, Dominic. You're going to add them together after you get the answer. So we're going to plug this in, we're going to plug 2 in for F, and we're going to say 2 squared plus 3. Yes.
Why is it -2 squared?
It's because you didn't put it in parentheses. You have to put it in parentheses. If you weren't listening to your music, you would have heard that we talked about that a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Alright, and then you plug in 1 for G, 1 plus 1. Does everybody see what I did?
That's a lot of plus signs.
That's why I did them all in different colors.
Ah, I put 2.
Alright, what is 2 squared? 4 plus 3 is?
7.
Okay, 1 plus 1 is?
2.
7 plus 2 is? Dun 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 dun. Do the next one without me.
This guy's very good.
Wait.
No, I didn't. Come at me.
Oh,
Wait, well, we're supposed to do the next one.
Did you get 4?
Yeah.
Yay!
Take a point.
No.
The next one is -1 plus 1 is 0.
How would you do the next one?
F and G are both 2. Wait. I have a
You wouldn't multiply.
I have a question.
Okay,
I thought -1 plus 1 is 0.
it is.
Then why did you, how is it 4?
1 squared plus 3 is 4.
But isn't 1 squared 2?
1 squared is 1. Because it's 1 times 1.
Can I have that person? The paper. Okay, what about the paper?
They mean something. No.
Is the bottom one a breast cancer?
This one's a breast cancer. This one's a breast cancer. This one's an Alzheimer's. This one's Make-A-Wish.
Whoa, I like that rainbow one.
I know.
Where'd you get it? Where'd you match?
My mom.
My dad shared Alzheimer's.
It's not old timers,
My dad
it's
has-
Alzheimer's.
My dad has
It's not Alzheimer's, it's Alzheimer's. There's a Z.
Alzheimer's.
Okay. Alright, so for the next two, you would start by plugging in 2 for G, And then what you get for that answer, you would plug in for F. Alright, so let's plug in 2 into G. So that would be 2 plus 1, correct? And 2 plus 1 is?
3.
Then you would take this and plug it into F.
I did.
Okay, guys, let's listen again. Are we ready? It says F at G at 2. So you start from the middle and work your way out. So you listen. You start by plugging 2 into G. That's why I did it in this color. So I said 2 plus 1 equals 3. Then I take 3 and I'm going to plug it into F, which is 3 squared plus 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. It's an arrow. Alright, now do this next one without me. Start from the inside, work your way out.
Done.
Nice.
Is it 4? Is it 4?
Wait, but you
Only
said
two
effort
parts.
was G. Yeah, but you said the equation. He's literally half.
Half.
There's
2.5 black.
You mean Hispanic people? Because not everybody is from Mexico.
Well, here, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Where are you from?
She's from New Mexico.
I'm from Puerto Rico.
I got black.
I'm Puerto Rican, basically, right?
No, I'm not Brazilian. No.
You are not
So
from.
I was born in Puerto Rico. Does that make me Puerto Rican?
No, Puerto Ricans are Americans. It's part of the United States.
Okay, but still, I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm American.
It's a territory.
Who's question 2?
Alright, did everybody get 4?
Yes, I got 4.
Fantastic. Now, for the last 2. They're not. Because earlier I told you if I told you Oreos right here, you would plug in Oreos, right? So since it has Y right here, what would you plug in? And you... So it would be Y squared plus 3. That's all you do.
You forgot to do 2.
Now if I tell you to plug in W, what are you going to plug in? So it's just W plus 1 and dun 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 dun. Alright, do the right side without me. Go.
Really sure it'll work.
No, if you can do it in your head, you're fine.
I did it. Is that a point?
Maybe. If you get it right, it's a point. Do all of them. Did you do all of them? Look at you guys. Take a point.
Five times 5 is 25.
I got 41. I'm at 4.
Mark, who are you talking to? Are you talking to yourself or are you talking to Alan? Either way, can you stop? Every time I look up, you're just talking and talking and talking and talking. And I don't know how anyone over there hasn't just like throat chopped you. Yes? Maybe? Maybe? No, you're not. Plug in x plus 1 for x. Put in parentheses. Where are you going? We're doing the right side of the paper, baby. Is that the right side? Look at you go.
Wait, I'm stuck on the last.
What'd you get for number first one? C. Stop that. What'd you get for the next one?
B.
I got B.
We're still waiting on Connor. And the next one, God, save us. B. Do I need to work it out and help anybody?
Yes.
Alright, for this one?
No, for the last one.
It says f at x plus 1. So what would I replace x with? X plus 1. If I literally put a unicorn here, put a unicorn over here. If I put a rhinoceros over here. If I say 4x plus 12, put 4x plus 12 over here. It's not that difficult. How do you get rid of parentheses?
Oh yeah. Wait, I thought the negative. Isn't that like sort of negative 5? You subtract 5.
Wait, I don't understand.
2 minus 5 is negative 3.
So that isn't a negative 5.
It's 2 minus 5.
Okay.
In a minute.
X plus 1. Will there ever be a
I just explained it to everyone.
I don't understand though.
Do you see how I plugged in x plus 1 for x? Do you see how I got to this part right here? We're not done. Okay, baby. Do you see how right here it says x plus 1? You replace x with that.
Oh, okay. I see how you got that. Now you just like do the little.
Yes.
Okay, I know.
Well, then what?
I was gonna see. I didn't know how you got to that first.
In the top drawer of your tower is your homework for tonight. Get it out and turn it to the back. We're going to do the back together. It's not in your drawer. No one sits back there in Algebra 1 all day.
Somebody give me a paper.
It's going to be up here. You're going to have to hold your horses.
Okay.
I'm traveling this way.
Oh, and can you pay that for
What is that?
This is yours.
Okay, so turn it to the back.
Put your name in this.
Now, you do not know how to graph all of these, so I'm going to help you by graphing it on a fancy app called Desmos. So what you're going to do, I'm going to graph these on the screen, and then you're going to match up what I show versus here. So if this turned out to be L, what would you write beside number 12?
L.
Fantastic. Are we ready? I'm sorry? Thank you. I'm not surprised. All right. Is everybody ready? So we're starting with y equals x. What does that look like?
It looks like I.
It looks like a line.
Yeah, it looks like I.
Looks like a line.
It is I. So beside number 12, write I.
So how do you know that's I?
Because this matches the paper, genius.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah, it's called Desmos. Desmos. And it's free. Yeah, in a minute. Alright, number next. Y equals 1/2 x. Ah, I'm not there. Ah, my fat fingers. Minus 1. That's B as in boy.
Hey, wait, was that 13?
Mama.
Number 14 would be 3x plus 1.
That looks like
C.
C.
That looks like C.
It's C.
It is C.
Hey.
15 is the absolute value of x.
Oh, that looks like E. Whoa.
Great.
That looks like E.
F.
Now it looks like F because I moved it up one. 17.
Okay.
18.
D as in dog.
It is D as in dog.
Or not. A.
A.
K as in
And which of those is not a function? G is not a function. Fantastic.
Is that it?
So you need to finish the front.